Sustainable energy found me over 20 years ago while I was working with the Attorney General's Chambers, and I gave my first opinion on whether or not we should remove an exclusivity from one entity and open up the renewable energy market to just about any person who would wish to invest in the economy. And so I gave that opinion, and the whole world was opened up to me. At the time, I'm an attorney, so I gave a legal opinion, and then I transitioned into the various projects that came along, waste to energy project, and then solar projects, and got involved in the electricity sector. I then transitioned over 15 years ago to the Office of Utilities Regulation, and there I got immersed in procuring renewable energy for Jamaica, because the emphasis there is to really get electricity prices down. And so we went through the successful tranches of procurement, and we now actually have the plants in Jamaica. And so this award really causes me to say, at least, so persons are watching and recognizing that as a woman in the industry, and the contribution that you can make more on a global level and on a national level, that indeed, it is being seen and rewarded. So it means very, very, very much to me. As the Deputy Director General in the Office of Utilities Regulation, I am responsible for the legal department and the Consumer and Public Affairs department. I am the first female Deputy Director General of the OUR, as we say in Jamaica, since its history, and we are coming up on 30 years. So it was indeed an honor to be in that position as well, for the recognition of the work which I have done in that field, and to actually contribute to a nation. I am big on nation building. I have always worked in the public sector, because I think I get that level of satisfaction when I know that I have contributed to the life of persons within a country on a wider scale than just on an individual basis, and that what I do filters down to actually affect the child in the school, the teacher in the school, the businessman, just about everyone. And so my own family and other families. So I am really, really proud of the fact that I am the first pioneer in that field. And so it was so monumental, but that subsequent to that, we now have another female Deputy Director General responsible for telecoms. So we now have, in the executive, we have 2 males and 2 females. And it is quite good, because we need that gender balance. We appreciate the male perspective, and they appreciate the female perspective. Together, we can be a formidable force. And so that's what we intend to do, to ensure that in the regulation of utilities in Jamaica, that we actually make a difference and propel the country, because we are in a position that we are regulating energy, electricity, telecommunications, and water. And as you know, those are key GDP drivers in today's modern world. The energy sector is very dynamic in this time, with the movement of technology and the convergence of technology as well, because with the telecommunications sector being so expansive, and the use of technology in the energy sector, it provides a wide intersect, not just for energy or telecommunications, but also the legal framework to govern that sector. So there are just various aspects. Plus, there's the engineering aspect of it as well, where you design utilities and their infrastructure and how that works to ensure that, the grid really delivers what it says it ought to deliver. So in that case, a woman or a young person who is contemplating a career in energy, the sky's the limit, really. And I would encourage you to take that first step. That first step is a journey to a long road ahead, with various experiences, and you can land at the end of that road knowing that you not only contributed to your community, your country, but also that self-fulfillment which you're looking for in terms of a career, and to take it to the level where you impact a nation. We need persons who will impact nations, who have a vision for their community, have a vision for their country. And if you build your career within that context, then it will be very, very rewarding. So I would encourage you to really just take a step back, assess where you wish to be, assess the contribution that you wish to make, and then take the steps forward. And along the way, there will be persons like myself and other persons who are there to help to guide you and to help you navigate and to refine the areas which you can be most effective. First and foremost, I need persons to understand that challenges are a natural part of life. Challenges are not to be looked at as an obstacle, but challenges are really opportunities to excel and to eliminate options as you go along, and to refine vision and to refine purpose. So challenges as you go along is one, understanding that you don't have all the knowledge that you need. That's the first challenge, which has to be recognized. And then you take the next step of saying, okay, I don't have the knowledge, but where could I acquire that knowledge? You can acquire it very quickly through mentorship, or you can take a solo road of trying to navigate in it yourself. But in the circumstances, my advice would be to get mentors, get the necessary learning. The second challenge that I think that you would face in this sector is that it's such a dynamic sector that you may want to waver, and there are parts that might not be as rewarding as you would think initially, but always to remember, short term is never the answer. Long term is always the answer. And it is when you push through and have the mental fortitude to stand up in the sector, then it is when you will have the best results. A third challenge which you may have, and it's not something that, is often celebrated, but it's something that it's knowing who you are as a person. Because oftentimes we're often very critical of ourselves. We set the sky as a limit without a realistic approach. And so we oftentimes don't celebrate ourselves in the process. And I would encourage persons to, as I said, when you take the step and you have a win, celebrate. If you have a loss, celebrate. See it as an opportunity to build yourself and to come back and to push through. And those are the major points that I would say would be challenging in the overall scheme. There are other challenges, but I think that these are the fundamental things that we would really have to take a note of. I am big on training. I always say to my team, I am training you as if I am leaving, because I realize that I'm only here today and I'll be gone tomorrow. And I need to leave a legacy, and I need to leave the knowledge and transfer that knowledge to the next generation to take it to the next level. I don't think that as energy proponents that we should just think of today. We have to move forward. I should leave my country a little bit better than I found it.